Hi, today we are here to make some spice mixes that we will be using in our healthy eating and staying active as we age lesson 9 Flavorful Foods. So now we're going to be making a large recipe of the same Tex Mex seasoning mix that we just made a single recipe of. In your teacher's guide you will find they have already calculated how many cups or tablespoons, teaspoons of each spice for us and divided it out so we don't have to do that calculation, which is very helpful. So for a large quantity of this particular seasoning, this one will make enough for 15 participants to be able to take a small container home with them and try it at home. So we're going to start out with a half of a cup of parsley. Okay, to that, we're going to add 2.5 tablespoons of our garlic powder, granulated garlic. So 1, 2, and 1/2 tablespoon is equal to 1.5 teaspoons. So we will take the teaspoon measure out and measure 1.5 teaspoons for that 1/2 tablespoon. Okay. The same measurement for our onion powder. So 2.5 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 1.5 teaspoons. Our next ingredient is oregano. 5 tablespoons is the equivalent we will need to use for our large batch mix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll notice I always count out loud because if I don't, sometimes I get confused and don't remember how much I put in, and I don't want to add too much or too little to the mix, so you will hear me count out loud. We're now going to put 5 tablespoons of black pepper. I got a fine ground black pepper. You could also use a coarse ground black pepper, whichever is easier, more readily available. So 5 tablespoons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's going to give us a little bit of heat to our Tex-Mex flavor. It's not hot, it just gives it a little bit of spice, a little peppery flavor to it. We're now going to add 1 cup of chili powder, and that seems like a lot, but normally Tex-Mex mixes are made up of mostly chili powders, and the chili powder is a blend of ground chilies. So we're going to add an entire cup this into our mixing bowl. Okay. We're going to add 1/3 of a cup of paprika, 1/3 of a cup measured here. Once again, this is Spanish paprika. You could also use smoked. 1/3 of a cup. And then we're going to add 1/2 of a cup of cumin. And cumin is that spice that I'm not sure that we realize what it is by itself, but it is the spice that you will find that tastes like taco mix. Very familiar scent and flavor to it. And we now have a nice spice blend that we can use for any of our Tex-Mex recipes. These small containers are usually available at dollar stores. They snap tight, which is good. They were 10 for $1 at my local dollar store. So these are a great option to send home spices with our participants. So now that we have our mixture, we're going to add this into our small containers. Each recipe makes 3 tablespoons. So for each small container, I'm going to put 3 level tablespoons in. And this is what we will send home with your participants for them to be able to try. There's 3. Snap that lid on tight. You can use a Sharpie marker or a label on here to label that as the Tex Mex seasoning so they remember what they have. You will want them to use this within about 6 months or so. After that, the spices do start to lose flavor. They can be stored in glass longer. So now we have these nice little take-homes for our clients.